I am Jackie, or Reasonably Crazy.
Or Jackie-tastic.
Or Jackie-tastic. Oh, right, Reasonably Crazy. That's not
that's...
Wrong screen name. I haven't used that since I was 14. Hi!
And I'm Katie, also my Natalia, also Marduk Talia at the moment, which is a NaNoWriMo thing, which might go back to normal, might not, I'm not quite sure yet.
So, yes, this is our very special video recording of I Read Terrible Things to make up for our shameful absence in November.
Very shameful.
We're so sorry. So, in response to a disturbing amount of requests...
You guys have interesting tastes.
Very interesting taste. We are doing a live reading of SLENDERBONE on my phone for Amazon Kindle. Da 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 da!
And we're very excited.
So
this
we're reading
literary masterpiece by Gregor Daniels with the thrilling tagline of "He isn't coming for your soul,
just your virginity."
For those of you who don't know, we should probably say Slenderman is kind of an urban legend invented by the internet of a really, really tall guy in a suit with army tentacles who can only come and hunt you once you start learning about him. It's kind of a long story we won't go into now. I recommend going to knowyourmeme.com and looking up Slenderman. Okay, go.
We are not sponsored by knowyourmeme.com. It's interesting to note, SLENDERBONE, copyright 2012, Gregor Daniels, for adults only.
And adults is in caps lock, so you know he's serious.
Uh-oh. No, that's not page one. That's not page one. Yes, it is.
That is page one. And so we are on to page one.
Watch out! You're gonna get slenderboned!
I didn't even know that was a thing!
I ignored Alexia's ridicule for the moment, not at all sharing her concerns or beliefs in the existence of such a supernatural being. It was a transformed kid story at most, a version of the familiar monster under the bed. Only in the stories that were spread around town, the monster's motivations were more adult in nature. Whatever. I shrugged it off, staying close to my friend as we walked through the campus, avoiding fast-moving bikes and keeping our jackets closed tightly in the chilly October weather. It's just some spook story. That's what they all say.
That's always what they all say.
Alexia laughed. Until they get to meet him. Then they aren't so sure of it.
Can I just say for a moment, I'm pretty sure when the internet came up with this myth, there was no sexy element to it. He just came along and, grabbed kids. And in fact, I really hope there wasn't a sexy element to it.
Yeah, it originally was he only targeted children.
But not for sexy reasons.
Not for sexy reasons.
No one asked him his reasons, but there were no sexy reasons implied.
They just disappeared and were never seen again, and then sometimes their bodies found again with their organs in plastic bags in the woods. That's exciting.
And not sexy.
Not sexy.
Anyway, on with the slenderboning.
Whether the story of Slenderbone was true or not remained a mystery.
Okay, wait, is Slenderbone a separate thing from Slenderman?
I don't know.
Is it Slenderman's sexy cousin?
I don't think so.
Let's find out!
Even if my friend believed in such fairy tales, I was apprehensive to recognize such a ridiculous story as fact.
I have never heard a fairy tale entitled Slenderbone, for the record.
The legend is the sort of tale that only those who believed in Santa would consider taking as truth. No. Santa and Slenderbone do not... Please, no.
That's a very, very different take on Rise of the Guardians.
Slenderbone was a supernatural being, or just some disturbed man. I wasn't sure. That didn't quite make sense.
This is our booze, by the way.
Yes.
This is, I am drinking peach schnapps mixed with lemonade in quite a large glass, and it's delicious.
And I am drinking Pinnacle Whipped Vodka with root beer. Also not sponsored by Pinnacle.
On with the show!
Yeah, that sentence was not formed properly. The stories all differed on his appearance and nature, even giving him some special powers in some mentions.
Tentacles.
Such as?
Tentacles.
We don't know. Regardless, most accounts depicted him as a really tall man. Almost unnaturally so. Only almost.
Not quite, so sort of like mid-naturally so.
Not only was he a head above most professional basketball players, but his arms were typically said to be inhumanly long.
I'd say a head above professional basketball players as unnaturally tall.
I would agree. Still, besides the strange details, he was said to have the appearance of a man wearing a suit and tie. Classic Slender Man.
Classy.
But by far the most creepy aspect of the folklore was the fact that he was described as not having a face.
That is creepy.
He had the skeletal structure of a human being for his head, but where a pair of eyes was completely sealed shut. No lips, no ears, no discernible features that humanized his presence.
Hey, do you remember that Doctor Who episode where there's the TV that steals people's faces?
Slenderman!
Yeah, exactly. So maybe that's just what happened.
Doctor Who. It's always Doctor's fault. Slenderbone was by all accounts a figment of the imagination. A scare story, yes, we've gathered this. A scare story for the girls in town to lose their virginity. As they all said, all of them, if a girl didn't have sex before college, she was going to get a visit from this strange being that walked in the shadows and only appeared at night where no one was around.
The creepy geeks.
They were going to get Slenderbone. That sounds like the pansiest sex ever. Like, everybody else is like, oh yes, last night I Slenderboned a chick. That does not make your penis sound.
It's totally a frat boy thing, isn't it? They like take bets over who's going to Slenderbone the most. But why would they choose the nickname Slenderbone?
I don't know, it should be like thick bone.
Mega bone!
Wishbone!
I'm going to ultra bone some fresher girls tonight.
What's the story of Slenderbone? That stuff sounds like glorified rape, Alex. True.
Yeah, it does.
Hey! Some man coming to take your virginity against your will.
That is pretty much glorified rape.
That's just rape.
Yeah.
I can't believe in such stuff like that. Whoever he is, he needs to be put in jail for starting such a story.
Okay, you can't really imprison people for starting a story. Can you? Well, it's slander and libel, but...
Considering the author of 50 Shades of Grey still walks free, I'm going to go with no.
What's wrong with justice today?
And what makes you think that it was this one person who started a story?
Sounds like frat boys.
I'm already slurring my speech. My friend turned to me. Hundreds of girls have seen him, Jamie.
Hundreds!
You know, because the story says so. Outside of the shower, in the bushes at night, peering in through the window, Slenderbone is more than just a legend.
And campus security really needs to get on that. Holy crap!
I merely snorted. And besides, it's not my virginity we're talking about. It's yours.
Actually, I think we're talking about collective virginity here, because this is a tale for the ages. This one girl could be any innocent young virgin who goes to campus.
Every woman. We remained silent as we took the steps up into Douglas Hall and up a flight of stairs for our next class. Psychology. Fitting.
Mm-hmm.
Just before the entrance to the classroom, I heard a couple of girls talking to one another. I should have ignored their voices as mixed background noise.
As we've ignored every other sound on their way to campus.
But the subject of the conversation grabbed my attention. I don't know, Becky, one of them said. I think I saw him again last night, looking through my window. Wow, this is very convenient. She was visibly distraught.
As opposed to olfactorily distraught?
Yes.
I used a long word.
It's okay, the other soothed her fears. He isn't going to harm you. He's merely there to warn you about what's coming.
Him!
I'm going to rape you later. This is a warning. I'm outside your shower to tell you.
Oh my god.
Don't snort that.
Ooh.
The other girl shook her head, perhaps not believing her friend. No, she whimpered. I don't want him to. It can't happen like this.
Those frat boys are frickin' geniuses.
I'm really uncomfortable right now. I must have been standing too close, listening in on their discussion, as eavesdroppers do, because both of them turned and looked at me. What do you want? The girl that was apparently Becky asked.
Apparently Becky. You know, her friend called her Becky, but it could be a cunning trick.
She could have been making it up.
She could be secretly Slenderbone. In disguise. It could be anyone.
I didn't respond and headed into the classroom, thinking about what the distraught girl had said, but mostly blowing it off as my imagination getting a better hold of me.
A better hole of me? That's the worst typo I've ever seen in this kind of novel. Her imagination is getting a better hole of her.
Which hole is better?
I don't know.
I have an opinion. Nice try, I said to Alexia as we sat down. No matter what you do to get me to believe that crazy shit, I'm not going to. What are you talking about now? Those girls, I said, pointing to the couple of classmates that just entered. Planting them there so I'd hear their conversation was smart on your part, but I'm not going to believe it.
Wow, she thinks her friend goes to incredible lengths to get her to believe she's going to be something called Slenderboned.
You're really not going to change your mind, are you? Alexia asked. I've been trying to warn you, Jamie, but if you don't accept the facts and find a boy soon, you'll see for yourself. This is so creepy! This is so creepy!
You must go out there and get laid, or otherwise the Slenderbone man is going to find you.
You are
and
not
watch
in
you.
control of your own sexuality. You don't get to make choices about your body. If you don't make them soon, other people will make them for you. Slenderbone.
What's that got to do with anything? Why
It's
is
a skinny penis. Oh yeah, and what's going to happen if I don't? Alexia smiled, which is the most inappropriate thing I
That's
can think
not
of
the
to
best
do.
response to do to your friend.
You're gonna get raped.
Lol.
And turned to face the instructor who had just entered and set down his things. I don't even know those girls, and I sure as hell didn't tell them to stand there talking.
I don't like this story. I am comfortable already.
We've reached the first breaking point.
Shall I read it for a bit?
Yes. You know I've pronouncing your screen name wrong this entire time?
Really?
I was Thalia this time.
Oh no, it's Talia.
I've been
It's
doing
Greek.
it wrong. It's Greek.